So with the new mower that Allett has put out, the Stirling 51 that I received recently, the cartridge system is a little different. They're calling it the Ultra Change cartridge, which is different from the Quick Change cartridge that was in the Kensington that I currently have. But there are a few cartridges that I have, the brush cartridge and the Verticut cartridge, that I didn't want to repurchase for the Stirling. And so Allett is providing these conversion kits so that you can take your old cartridges, add this little part, and convert it to one that'll work with the Stirling. Let's get to it. Now this is the Verticut cartridge. If you're not familiar with it, essentially you put it in, and it obviously uses the same drive system that the other cartridges use, and it basically cuts vertically in the grass. So it'll cut into just below the grass that's up above the surface, cutting through some of the side growing grass and lifting up some of the grass so that you can come back over and cut it again. And it helps to also open up the grass bed, clear out some of the thatch and all of the debris and undesirable stuff that's in the grass. So it's a good cartridge to have. It's a little more aggressive than the Scarifier cartridge. So you wouldn't use it as much as you do the Scarifier, but it is a really good cartridge to use, and I want to use it on the Stirling. So basically what you are trading out is this part right here, this gear that is plastic on the Kensington, and I believe on the Liberties too. I think they're the same system, and that's one thing that I think has been a source of complaint from the customers, is that it's plastic and it makes it seem like it's lesser quality. One of the benefits of it that's been explained to me though is that it is a sacrificial piece that will protect the rest of the mower if it breaks, like if you hit a rock or something and it seizes everything up immediately. This will break as opposed to something more serious in the mower. Anyways, that's what I was told. I can't verify that, but let's get to it. So basically what they send is this replacement gear that is, I don't know if this is aluminum or some kind of steel. It kind of feels like aluminum. And this spacer. I think they call it a timing spacer on the instruction sheet here. Yeah, timing pulley spacer and a cartridge pulley. So it's interesting. 1-step, 2-step, 3-step. Let's see if it is actually this easy. What you're going to need is a 24mm socket and a wrench or a ratchet. And what I'm going to use is my drill with the 24mm socket on it. So we'll get that going with that. Also, something to note is that it is not righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. It is righty-loosey, lefty-tighty. So it must have something to do with the way the torque is applied on the system, and if it wasn't this way, it would be loosening things up all the time. First of all, I know that as soon as I start turning this, it is going to turn the cartridge, and it does. So I'm going to have to secure this cartridge somehow so that it doesn't chop my hand off, and also it'll actually loosen up this pulley. Okay, so what I have to block it off from turning while I'm using my drill to loosen this up is I have this piece of wood that I'm going to just wedge in here, and it looks like it should go pretty firmly. So now, of course, to loosen this up, I'm going to have to be turning it this way, so I'll have to wedge it in on this side. So let's just give it a shot. Put your hand on this little handle here. Let's see if I can get this going a little. So I think this might require a little more brute strength than what my drill can provide here. Yeah, my drill's just kind of giving out before it gets enough torque to make a difference. Now I need to go find my ratchet. So now I'm going to try it on the ground. I've got my left foot holding the board in on the blades so it doesn't turn. And I'm going to put my crazy assembly here back on here. So hopefully this will give me a little more of a leverage here. That did it. Whew. That was crazy. All right, so now I can just pull that off. So now that we've got this off, need to put this on. So this is the, I forget what they're calling it, cartridge pulley. This is the cartridge pulley, and this is the timing pulley spacer. So now let's compare. The other one did have a spacer on it, and so this one's a little deeper, and it looks like it could be it's slightly a different diameter, and of course this one has a groove in it. But I don't think this groove was doing anything in there. There's not like any parts that it necessarily attaches to. So this goes on first, according to the instructions, and then this goes on top of it. I'm just going to tighten this up now. Oh, sorry, yeah. Lefty tighty in this case. So remember, the threading is reversed. Okay, so now I've got to put this board on this other side so I can tighten it. And I doubt if I have to really crank down on this because of the way it's threaded. I bet you that if I tighten it, it'll kind of naturally become tighter as it's used. Oops, yeah, that's right, lefty. So let me just, there we go. I think that should be good enough. Now the test here is going to be putting this in the Stirling and having it fit correctly and work right off the bat. Let's see if that happens. Okay, now when you are working on changing out the cartridge, it's a good idea to have the handle in the upright position there, because that turns off the mechanism so that you don't accidentally turn anything on while you're changing out the cartridges. Okay, so to change out the Verticut cartridge that I just put the conversion kit on, I lift this up, lift up that, and pull out the cartridge. Okay, and this is the existing cartridge, and you can see that it does have exactly the same thing with the spacer on it. And so that works. That looks like it should work. So here's the new one. I'm putting it in. It goes in. I will lock it down. Hello. Well, that went in just right. Now let's see if it works. To use the Verticut cartridge, I'm going to lower this down to the 0 setting right here. I don't want to go too low right off the bat, just because, you know, this is the first time I've used it for a while. And let's see how it does. It seems to be turning just fine. So there you go. This is what it picks up when you use the Verticut cartridge. It picks up a lot of the thatch out of the grass, but it also, you can see some green matter there. It's also cutting the sideways growing plants to pick them up vertically, so you can cut them, you know, when you cut horizontally again. But it also does actually do some cutting, and so that's great. So it'll be nice. This will be great for the lawn. Well, I would say that worked just perfectly, like it was made for it. Nice. And I don't know if you can see the lines in the grass on the camera or not, but, you know, just on the 0 setting, that did do some cutting through the top layer of the grass, I think I'll go deeper. The Verticut cartridge works just fine in the Stirling, which is great. That conversion kit was pretty easy to do as long as I found the right tool to get that loosened up. But once I got that done, it went pretty smoothly. So thanks for watching, and if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching this long, and I will talk to you soon.